Well, Epic Universe is less than a month and a half away from opening, and team member previews are currently going on, and additional previews have been announced for annual pass holders, Universal Visa card members, and Universal hotel guests that can preview this park before it opens. But we're still waiting on some more information, some more details around certain elements of Epic Universe. So we have some things to discuss that can help maybe answer some of those, or also perhaps even be more confused by it. And just because Epic Universe is not open yet does not mean that bad guest behavior has not happened there, because it has, and we have an example of one that's pretty egregious. So we're going to go through all this, talk about it, give some thoughts. So hi, I'm Jared with Capture the Magic. And the first one we'll start off with is bad guest behavior already at Epic Universe. And on this story, given that this is social media, I will just say this is all allegedly happened at Epic Universe. It's still in preview mode, and currently to be able to go to these previews, you either have to be a Universal team member or be family or very, very close with a Universal team member to do so. So you are a guest of the park and you're not paying anything to go in. So you would assume that that would come with a certain amount of responsibility from people that are going to this park, that have the privilege to check out this park. And as we've talked about many times, some of the bad guest behavior we tend to see at Disney, I've mentioned before, it doesn't seem to happen at Universal as much or talked about, but this one is at Universal, and it's quite a doozy here. So this is from Universal Apex here. He says, "What happened at Epic Universe? They got arrested, ? And we'll just watch this.
Done got kicked out the park.
They caught me stealing. They caught me stealing in this store. I don't give a.
So allegedly, this gentleman was shoplifting at Epic Universe in multiple stores and got caught. I mean, obviously, I can't describe how idiotic that is to do, on top of the fact of just anywhere to do so, especially at a theme park, if you ever want to go back, because I do imagine this gentleman was escorted off property, not to be able to return, if he may also be having charges pressed against him. But to do so in a day-to-day basis at a theme park, that's one thing. Still a very bad decision in terms of life choices that you could make. But to do so during a preview when you're either an employee of Universal Studios or a guest of somebody that works for Universal Studios is just another level, considering either A, you don't care about your job and you're going to get fired, or B, you don't care about the job of somebody else that you're supposed to be very close with. Because one of the things about the previews are guests of the team members, they are responsible for their guest behavior. So I don't know if this guy did this, without the person knowing that this is what he was going to do or whatever the case may be, but very well could have cost somebody else their job to go and do this. And obviously bad guest behavior is going to happen at a lot of places. You would assume maybe Epic Universe was going to be void of this for a little bit, but it seems like even before the park opens, we already have a case of some bad guest behavior. I don't know. People make decisions that I don't understand in life, but that would be definitely one of them up there. Instead of having a great day at a brand new theme park that you don't have to pay to go, you can just enjoy it, you decide to steal some stuff and get kicked out. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of people that have been very thankful to be able to go to the preview, and instead, this situation happens. But just want to point that out, to be fair. Done a couple of videos talking about, the bad behavior at Disney, which is all over the place. You can see stuff about that, but it's not often you come across it at Universal. And hopefully this is not an ongoing thing, although I'm sure there is some theft on some level at all theme parks, to be fair. But that's a decision. So I'll just put it that way. But we'll move on to some other news here. So this one is interesting, and this is conflicting information. So this is from Wallen Ballin, but this has been all over sort of Twitter, X, and some other places. He says, breaking: there are conflicting reports regarding whether your Premier Annual Pass will get you Express Pass after 4 p.m. at Epic. So if you're not aware, if you're a Premier Annual Pass holder at Universal Studios, which we are, part of the perks you get is after 4 p.m. you get not unlimited, but you get Express Pass after 4 at Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure. So you can ride every ride that accepts Express Pass one time after 4 o'clock. It's a great perk. We take advantage of it all the time we're in the parks. But there's been some questions about, would this be available at Epic Universe? Previously, it showed on the website that it was going to be available, and then shortly after people started noticing it and talking about it, it was then grayed out. It did not show that as an available perk. I've been operating on the fact that it won't be a perk, but that's just me kind of like having lower expectations, maybe not to be disappointed. But he goes on to say, there are two conflicting answers being given by Universal Orlando on Twitter and by Universal Orlando on the official pass holders Facebook page. So this one here on Twitter, somebody asked, will Express Pass be available to Premier Pass holders after 4 p.m. during previews? It says, hey, Chris, this is from Universal Orlando annual pass holders themselves. Hey, Crystal, any benefits relating to Express after 4 p.m. are not available at Epic Universe during the preview period or grand opening through December 31st, 2025. So that's essentially saying no. But then also in the Universal Orlando Resort Facebook page, which they used to have, it's either the page or the group. They have a page, or they have a group that they're now converting. They're going into a page, and they're ending the group. I don't know as to why, but it says Premier Pass holders will be able to use their Universal Express after 4 p.m. benefit from May 22nd, 2025 onward with valid theme park admission. So it seems there's some miscommunication on Universal's side about this perk. And not that this necessarily means anything definitive, but if you Google it, and I just did a really rough Google search of Universal Studios, which I spelled wrong, Premier Annual Pass Express Pass after 4 p.m. Epic Universe. The AI overview says Universal Studios Premier Annual Pass holders will have Universal Express access at Epic Universe after 4 p.m. on the grand opening day, May 22nd and onward. It says the benefit is contingent on having valid theme park admission. It is available starting from the grand opening date. So this is the AI overview. So it's pulling this information from somewhere. It doesn't say specifically where this is pulling it from. I used to do a lot of SEO work, so they've changed a lot of these things, but typically this is always pulled from somewhere, and they won't always say where it's at. So it seems that there is some verbiage out there somewhere, obviously from Universal in some social media comments, and also perhaps somewhere on a website, but it's not referring it to here. I looked through the website. I couldn't find anything specifically regarding that it would or wouldn't be available. So I suppose that's just a little bit more confusion on this. So potentially, if you are a Premier Annual Pass holder and you're at Epic Universe after 4 o'clock, you might be able to use Express Pass. I guess it just comes down to maybe trying it. I mean, I will try it out on opening day. We will be there, and I will see if it works. But so I guess that could be a perk or not a perk. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see if there's more clarification on that. So if you are a Premier Pass holder, you might be able to use that, but we'll have to wait and see what Universal ends up saying officially, perhaps before the opening date. And also from Wallen Ballin, which is something I've been curious about. He says, breaking, Epic Universe has been testing a nighttime show at midnight for the past few nights. The lights on Helios are synced to the fountain, which can shoot water even higher than the hotel. It's unclear whether projections onto Helios or fireworks will be included. So this is something I've had questions about because, I mean, we essentially... it hasn't been confirmed by Universal, but I mean, all the concept art, we know they've been doing firework testing. I mean, I did a video where somebody was able to get, a lot of footage of this. And the assumption is just being that there's going to be a nighttime show here. There's obviously a fountain in the middle, so there's going to be something going on. But Universal hasn't come out and said, for sure that there will be or what the theme of it will be, which I've been very curious about because I think a nighttime show at Universal is something that would be fantastic. And I imagine for Epic Universe it'd be really good. But this is the first I've ever heard about this. I'm assuming somebody has told him about that. I mean, it seems like people talk to him. I mean, some team members say things to me now and then. I'm sure Wallen Ballin may have the same thing. So if they are testing this out, I'm very curious. Surely they announce something before Epic Universe opens. But, we talked about before about some leaked concept art about Helios like a year and a half ago that came out. And in that, there, the Helios Grand Hotel was essentially supposed to be, now this is again leaked, so it hasn't been anything official from Universal, but it was supposed to be sort of the in-park castle the live-in castle that is the centerpiece of the park. And if you've ever been there and you've seen the pictures, obviously it definitely is that. It anchors that entire park. So I don't know about projections on it. Now, I have talked about that before, but you do have people in hotel rooms. I don't know how projections onto the hotel for that would go. I'm assuming that may not be something they do because of that, but they could have synchronized lights on it. And I've always assumed that the fountain would be involved in a fireworks show with this, but hopefully we do get some more details from Universal before it opens about this nighttime show. They may be waiting just to, continue to build anticipation for this. But that is something I've been curious about of if this is going to be a nightly thing for sure, which the assumption is that it will be, and or what the theme of this is going to be, like what's the music of it going to be, like all these things. There's a lot of things I'm very curious about with it. Hopefully we hear something soon about that. But I will say, and I talked about another video, I'm very curious about the fireworks show, assuming they do want an Epic Universe. It may be a different environment in terms of watching the fireworks compared to other theme parks. Now, if you've ever been to Magic Kingdom around Happily Ever After in the hub, that can be a complete logistical nightmare to try and get through and get a spot for fireworks. A lot of pressure on that. Having been to Epic Universe, those walkways in Celestial Park are so wide. There's tons of space in Celestial Park, and also around the fountain, there's tons of seating that could fit a lot of people in there. So I'm really curious if getting a spot for the fireworks, quote unquote, is something that will be necessary to view the fireworks show, because the fireworks, presumably, yet again, would be going off behind Helios. So Helios would be the center point of the fireworks show. I'm wondering if you would just be able to essentially be anywhere in Celestial Park to get a pretty good view of the fireworks show, which may mean you don't have as much of an impetus on having to get a spot an hour or 2 hours before a fireworks show, whereas I think a lot of people would just sit around the fountain for one place that has the grass seating around there, and that I think would be a really cool element to see a fireworks show from there. But potentially you could just pop out of a portal, be in Celestial Park, be able to see it pretty well from basically any angle, maybe even inside some of the lands as well, I would assume. So that's something I'm curious about. It could be much more of a relaxed one in terms of like getting a spot for the fireworks. And I say that, and it could be completely slammed and you can't move in Celestial Park. Obviously, we don't know yet because this park isn't open, and there has been no fireworks show yet. But that's something I'm a little curious about after being there and just seeing how much space is in there and just all the seating around the fountain, as that could eat up a lot of people. And then you obviously going to have people coming in and out of portals to begin with, even during a fireworks show. So, of course, I'll have to wait and see more details on that, but that's just my little wondering, not really a hypothesis, just really wondering how that flow might go for a fireworks show. And those of you that are still looking to get preview tickets for Epic Universe that were just recently announced last week, the dates, all of the dates are available now, 17th through the 8th. There was a little bit of period of time there where the 3rd was sold out. It seems like that has either been replenished or that was an error. So it seems that all the dates are currently still available, varying prices. So the cheapest time to go, though, looks like it's toward the end of April and into May compared to the first part there. So all the dates right now are available. So if you're looking to go, there is availability there. And there is some information in the frequently asked questions section of the preview. And it says, is the park going to be open from May 9th to May 21st? Because as the previews are only going, as of right now, till May 8th. And their answer says, additional details on the preview period from May 9th to May 21st will be available soon. So it seems as though they're indicating that there is going to be additional dates for the preview. They just haven't announced those yet for whatever reason. So if you're not able to come to, this section of the previews, there is a possibility there will be more previews May 9th through May 21st before Epic Universe open. And a lot of people have asked, how are hotel guests able to get tickets to the preview? So to get tickets to the preview, if you are a hotel guest and not an annual pass holder, once you check into your hotel, you can then, and I'm sure that the front desk people would tell you this, but you can then I think you go see not the concierge, but I think it's the ticket and planning center there with Universal employees that you can buy tickets and things. You can go over there and then you can get a preview. You can purchase a preview ticket there. I do believe that is how that process goes, but you have to be checked in at your hotel before you are able to purchase tickets. So that's how that goes if you are a hotel guest and not an annual pass holder and you're wanting to go to the previews. And then in terms of promoting Epic Universe, this is from WWNT. And the National Universal Epic Universe Portals Tour kicks off in Atlanta. So they're kind of taking a unique approach to promoting Epic Universe on this little tour they're doing, whereas they're kind of showing off the portals. It says here, recently Universal announced an Epic Universe Portals Tour said to include a glimpse of the adventures that await in the immersive new theme park. Universal stated that the highlight of the tour is the 30-foot-tall replica of the Kronos that is situated by the main entrance to Epic Universe. The announcement article describes how guests will be invited to approach this mesmerizing portal structure to witness action-packed sequences that celebrate the incredible adventures of the new theme park while also snapping a few photos and enjoying a nighttime lights show. It's not as big as the portal, obviously, for Epic Universe, but it's got a screen there, so it's going to have some stuff on it. But it says, we're able to visit one of the tour's first stops in Atlanta, Georgia. The location is between World of Coca-Cola and the National Center for Civil and Human Rights. It says, guests of the experience wait in line on one side that just has the portal concept art. Approximately every 3 minutes, the host let groups walk to the other side to view a concept video. The video highlights each of the new Epic Universe lands in brief overviews, starting with Celestial Park, then Dark Universe, Wizarding World of Harry Potter, How to Train Your Dragon, and finally Super Nintendo World. And at the end of the concept video, And on signs around the area, there's a QR code, which leads to a giveaway entry for a 5-night trip for 4 people, which includes round-trip airfare to Orlando, Florida, ground transportation between the airport and hotel, accommodations at Universal's Helios Grand Hotel, admission to Epic Universe, plus a 3-park, 4-day park-to-park ticket. So the tour is going to be April 11th through 13th in Atlanta, April 23rd through 26th in New York, May 16th through 18th in Philadelphia, and June 13th through 18th in Chicago. So the tour is open from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. It's an interesting way to promote it. I don't really feel one way or the other about it. I don't know. I guess it's a way to get people to sort of into the concept of it. So I don't know. That's part of their advertising or marketing campaign for this, on top of television and commercials on YouTube and things like that. So that has started. So if you're in those areas, you could go check out a replica of the portal if you want to see that. But I will say the portal in real life is much bigger and much more grander when you do see that. And I will say, having seen that thing in person, it is quite a sight to behold. And one thing I definitely want to do that I haven't got to do yet is see this park at night. I want to. I've seen clips of it. I'm literally trying to stay away from those clips because I don't want it ruined for me. I want to see it with my own eyes first. But this park at night, I've always felt like would look fantastic, and everything. The clips I have seen and Bio reconstruct some of the photos he's taken, it looks fantastic at night. And I love theme parks at night, so that is one thing I'm definitely looking forward to checking out. Is just this park at night. Honestly, I want to go to Celestial Park, get a drink, and just sit down and relax in the middle near the fountain and just check out the park. I just want to sit there for a while and just relax. That's kind of what I want to do, among other things, writing things and obviously doing other stuff. But I do want to do that. Just have like a nice moment of, just chill in a theme park and enjoy the ambiance. And I think it'll be pretty impressive to do that, personally speaking. But in terms of Epic Universe news or updates, that's about all there is at this point. Obviously, we don't have much more to reveal. I would say one thing that we're probably still waiting on, as some people have asked about, is accessibility, how that's going to look for disabled people. I don't imagine that's going to be much different than the existing parks. But to my knowledge, Universal hasn't come out and said anything specific about that, but that's some things like that we're waiting to hear about, plus the fireworks show and perhaps some other details. There are some people wondering if there's going to be an opening day ceremony. Don't know about that either. So there are some more details I'm sure we will get before the opening day, but almost a month away now. It's getting very close. And having been to Epic Universe, I can't wait to go back. We're going to go back to the previews and also on opening day. So I plan to check out this park multiple times in the next couple months, and I'm very excited to do that and go back and take my kids. And I think they're going to freak out in How to Train Your Dragon and also in Super Nintendo World. And it'll be a great time. So I'm looking forward to going back. But those of you that are going to go or on the fence about going, it is a fantastic park. I had a great time, and I cannot wait to go back. So if you are able to go, I think you'll have a great time. And I can't wait to just check out more details and aspects of this park. But either way, though, that's going to be it, though, for this video. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel, as we do lots of coverage here of Universal Studios, Epic Universe, Disney World, and pop culture. And let us know in the comments, assuming there is going to be a nightly fireworks show, what do you think the theme of it is going to be? And until next time, we will see you in the parks.